Alright folks, well this is what happens when I don't go to bed. It was about 9:45 and I was thinking, you know what, I'm wore out in the wood shop. I think I'm all go on in, go to bed. I still gotta get a shower and take care of some stuff. No, ain't had enough yet, so I'm gonna go play. So, earlier today, you remember from the aquaponics setup or that aquaculture I guess, this was just a valve just sticking out, nothing off of it. And I did that on purpose when I built the aquaculture system so I'd have an option to tie stuff in later if I wanted to. Well, I finally went and got the pieces. I got a T fitting above, which is a 1-inch T with a 1/2-inch cord out the side, and then a 1-inch slip-to-thread adapter and a 1-inch threaded cap. So this gives me the option even still in the future if I want to stack even more, just take that cap off, put on another slip-to-thread adapter or whatever I need to do, put on more valves and T's with it. Anyway, so I spurred off of it 1/2-inch male thread to this flex pipe for irrigation, and you can see it comes just in an arc. This stuff's nice if you got room because you don't have to actually put hard elbows like PVC. You just bend it real gradual. So it comes down to a valve here, which the valve on this system for right now is not necessary. It's actually just serving as a coupler right now because I was using salvage pipe. But in the future, if I do have another option running off the top of that studded T up there, and I want to turn off the bed heater, I can right here. And then I'll just have, that way it's, because right now if I shut that valve, it's going to be trying to hold pressure against the aquaculture pump. Whereas in the future, if I have some other device running, then it would be taking the load off, taking that pressure relief. And if nothing's running, then I turn off that main valve right there. So anyway, comes down here through the valve slash coupling, takes a 90 underneath there because I did have to turn tight corner, so it takes a 90, comes out across, water goes in there, and then as you recall from the video about building the thermal loop or the heating loop, it spreads out into 3, goes to the far end, ties back together, turns an elbow, comes back, comes out right here, turns this 90, comes across underneath, back up, coming back up through this line now, and you can see I just wired it in place there just for a quick, I'm always so excited to see the end result that I just rigged it up, but I'll tie it down or do something. And you can see, water's coming out. So, system's running right now. It's basically, no pressure system, so I'm not, these flex pipe couplings and fittings are, they're designed for a lower pressure system, drip irrigation, stuff like that. Since this is flowing open-ended, it doesn't really feel a whole lot of pressure from the pump, especially too since this ball valve here is choked just barely open. You're not feeling a lot of pressure from the pump. As you can see, if I, for whatever reason, wanted to, I can crank this valve on open and get a lot higher flow rate, or crank it back. And I'm not going to get so scientific with it that I'll probably know, the right flow rate to get the right thermal trade-off. Really, the end result is just that now I've got, 80-degree water running down and heating. It'll start to heat the sand in the rooting area of this bed versus we've got in this room, which is anywhere from 55 to 65 degree air. So heating the soil should promote rooting of plants. It should make the roots want to grow actually faster than say the the leafy tops. And when you're doing stuff like cuttings, that's really what you want. You want to promote roots. So anyway, is it really necessary for me in my climate? Really probably not, but yeah, by the same token, maybe it is, because this particular greenhouse of mine, by about April, it gets too blasted hot in here to do anything. So really, my use of this greenhouse is, January through March, we'll say. Because after that it's just too hot. If I did cuttings or anything in here, I'm afraid they'd die. Which I could do mist propagation, I'm sure, that'll help keep them cool, but if that's the point, if I'm going to be misting, I'll just, mist them out in the yard somewhere. So anyway, not the point of the video, I always ramble. Point is, I got my heating loop teed off and it's running. I'm not, yeah, I don't know if I trust it tonight. I guess I kind of have to, so I'm going to choke it back a little bit more just in case it does want to spring a leak overnight. But other than that, I'm headed to the house.